Request everyone to rise in their seats as we welcome the dignitaries for ringing the bell of democracy. I request all of you to give a big round of applause, my friends. A big round of applause to all the dignitaries present here today for the third valedictory session of Third International Symposium on Law and Peace. A big round of applause as we welcome Advocate R.K. Anandji, Advocate Nishit Desai-ji, Justice Madam Roshan Darvi-ji, Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasin-ji. It's our good fortune. We also have the presence of Advocate Ravi Bharadwaj-ji with us. The students of School of Law joining us in ringing the bell of democracy, which is a very, very important symbol indicating that we all stand together, united, for strengthening the democratic fabric of our nation. It is indeed our good fortune that today we have all these dignitaries present here for ringing the bell of democracy. A big round of applause, my friends, as we join this ringing and the cause of staying united. Thank you very much. I request all the dignitaries to join our hands for lighting the traditional lamp. My friends, it is indeed our good fortune that we have such tall luminaries to guide us, to motivate us in this valedictory session of Third International Symposium on Law and Peace. We have the presence of many tall personalities in the field of law who would share their divine knowledge with all of us. And now, we all are joining hands for lighting the traditional lamp, which symbolizes that through this lighting of lamp, we will get rid of the darkness of ignorance, and this lamp, this light, will show us the path towards the noble goals for the betterment of our country. Once again, a big round of applause, my friends, as formally this valedictory session is being inaugurated at the hands of all the dignitaries. A beautiful moment. The students are also joining the dignitaries for lighting the traditional lamp. Thank you very much. Please to kindly accept the chair on the dais. I request everyone in the audience as well to kindly accept the chair. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and esteemed participants, welcome to the grand stage of Third International Symposium on Law and Peace, ISLP. I'm Dr. Gautam Bapat, and it is an honor to be your anchor for this momentous occasion of the valedictory session of Third ISLP. My friends, ISLP is a shining beacon bringing together the legal professionals, policy planners, thinkers, and the members of the global society at large. It is a platform where minds converge for dialogue, open discussion, and deliberations. A platform which not only addresses the conflict resolution, but also actively engages in peace-building processes. My friends, our goal is to foster a culture of peace and harmony tailored to the dynamic, complex society that we all live in. It is my honor to share with all the dignitaries on the dais that this symposium is truly unique, transcending political boundaries, where judges, lawyers, jurists, legal advisors, mediators, academicians, policymakers, social observers, industry people, and most importantly, youth of this country, society at large, come together. It's a melting pot of thoughts, of diverse perspective, where all sorts of ideas are exchanged. It is indeed our honor and privilege to have all these dignitaries and luminaries present here today for the valedictory session. Before we begin and proceed with these proceedings of this session, as per the tradition of MIT's MIT group of institutions, as well as this platform, I would like to request everyone on the dais and off the dais to kindly rise in their seats as we will experience the World Peace Prayer, which would immediately be followed by the national song Vande Mataram. I request everyone to rise in their seats. I request everyone, please fold your hands, close your eyes. This prayer does not talk about any caste, creed, religion, or any section of society. It is prayer made to the Almighty for the well-being of entire humanity. We will now have the World Peace Prayer followed by national song.
Oh, Adya, Veda, Adya, Jaya Jaya Swasam Vedya, Atmarupa. देवातूति गणे अर्थ मत मणे निवृत्तिकासु अवधारि गोदी गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरु श्री गुरु पूर्णमुदच्यते आय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् मलयज शीतलाम् शस्यश्यामलां मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् सज्जोत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनीं पुल्लकुसुमित द्रुमद सुमधुरभाषिणीं सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरम्.
Thank you. My friends, the heart of our discussion during the themes of third ISLP had been the role of law to promote the culture of peace. In the world where conflicts persist, where harmony is sometimes drowned into our discord, the role of law has become pivotal. Today, as we reach the culmination of our journey to explore the legal domain where we can be catalyst of peace, a force that nurtures ethical and spirited leadership. My friends, it is now time when I invite the Associate Dean of School of Law at MIT World Peace University, Dr. Purnima Inamdar, to kindly propose welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Bapat. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. A very good evening to our eminent guests, faculty members and students. I, Dr. Purnima Inamdar, on behalf of Dr. Vishwanath Karhad, MIT World Peace University, take this opportunity to welcome each one of you to the valedictory section of the 3rd International Symposium on Law and Peace at Vishwanath Karhad, MIT World Peace University. It has been an intellectually enriching journey, and as we enter the valedictory session, we are privileged to have the esteemed presence of Advocate R.K. Anand sir, Senior Vice President, Indian Olympic Association, and former Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha, Justice Srimati Roshan Dalvi ma'am, former Judge, Bombay High Court, our esteemed special guest of honor, Advocate Nishit Desai sir, founder of Nishit Desai Associates, our chief guest, and Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasin sir, convener of International Symposium on Law and Peace, and former president of the Bar Association of India. His insights into the legal landscape and its role in promoting peace have always been pivotal. Let us cherish and partake in the consolidarity insights to begin to contribute collectively towards a more just and peaceful world. I once again welcome on behalf of Vishwanath Karhad MIT World Peace University, each one of you to the valedictory session of the 3rd International Symposium on Law and Peace. I would like to conclude with one couplet in Hindi. अतिथि सत्कार बिना हर अरदास अधूरी होती है. अतिथि सत्कार बिना हर अरदास अधूरी होती है. अतिथि ही वो फरिश्ते हैं जिनके आने से पूरी आस होती है. Thank you very much. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much for those beautiful words, and I would say you have made my job simple with those beautiful words. And yes, indeed, with the tradition of Atithi Devo Bhava, I would like to request our respected Executive President, Shri Rahul V. Karat sir, to kindly felicitate and welcome the dignitaries on the dais. First and foremost, I would like to request sir to kindly felicitate the chief guest of this session, Advocate R.K. Anand ji. Please put your hands together and welcome with a round of applause the Senior Vice President of Indian Olympic Association and former Member of Parliament Rajya Sabha, Advocate R.K. Anand ji. A big round of applause, my friends, for Advocate R.K. Anand ji. Indeed, our honor and privilege to have you here today, sir. The founder of Nishit Desai Associates. It's indeed our honor and privilege to have you here today as the chief guest of this valedictory session. A big round of applause, my friends, for Advocate Nishit Desai ji. Thank you very much for your presence, sir. And it is our good fortune that we have Madam Desai also with us. Request sir to kindly felicitate Madam Desai also. I request sir to kindly felicitate and welcome Madam Desai as well. A big round of applause for her. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your gracious presence in this important moment. I request her to kindly felicitate the special guest of honor, Justice retired Madam Roshan Dalvi ji. former judge of Bombay High Court. Tall personalities are present among us today for this important session. A big round of applause, my friends, for the special guest of honor, Justice Retired Madam Roshan Darwishi. A big round of applause, my friends. I would now request Sir to kindly felicitate. And welcome the convener of ISLP, Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasinji, the Advocate of the Supreme Court of India, former President of Bar Association of India, and Managing Partner of Bhasin and Company. He is one of the, I would say, pioneers, family member, and the one because of whom ISLP is today a reality. So a big round of applause for Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasinji. Once again, a big round of applause for all the dignitaries present here today for their time and kind presence. With this, I would like to request the Honorable Vice Chancellor of MIT World Peace University, Professor Dr. R.M. Chitnis sir, to kindly address the gathering.
Good evening. Namaskar. There is on the dais, on behalf of our founder president and UNESCO chairholder, Human Rights, Democracy and Peace, Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, on behalf of Honorable Executive President of MIT's MIT Group of Institutions, Sri Rahul Karad sir, all the trustee members, faculty, staff and students of MIT World Peace University, it is indeed pleasure once again extend a warm welcome to all the distinguished guests who have spared their valuable time to join this valedictory session of ISLP. When someone gives you time, actually they are giving part of their life to you. So big round of applause for all of them, traveled from Delhi, Mumbai and other places in India. Warm welcome to our long-time guide, Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasinji, Honorable Justice Roshan Dalvi ma'am, and Senior Advocate Nitish Desai ji, and Honorable Shri R.K. Anandji. Last 2 days of this symposium of law have been full of intense discussions, deliberations and expert talks of illustrious speakers revolving primarily around the central theme of heralding law to promote peace, and specifically through the selected topics of the various sessions such as peace building, sustainable development, global trade, governance and law, artificial intelligence and law, and conflict resolution. I compliment the entire team of School of Law for organizing this 3rd edition of International Symposium and its prudent topics of discussion. Students, may I request you a round of applause, thundering for your faculty members. The central theme and the session topic go into tune with the founding principles of this institution, established and nurtured and enlarged by our founder president and propeller of peace through holistic education, Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, and very dynamic and visionary executive president, Sri Rahul Karad sir, whose nationalistic and patriotic thinking is well known, and who is also creator of BCS, about which I spoke yesterday. And he's also creator of NLC, where some of you already worked in Mumbai. But this was done under auspices of the unique creation of him, that is MIT School of Government, India's first school to train future politicians. And through that lineage, this ISLP has come. So, sir, allow us to appreciate you by round of applause. Rahul Vishwanath Karaj, sir. Such symposia and conferences provide ideal platform for our aspiring students, that's you. And yesterday or today morning, I was attending lecture of artificial intelligence, and they said you are not students, you are lawyers in making. So I will address you instead of students that this ISLP provides ideal platform for lawyers in making as well as faculty and invited attendees to listen to the wise talks of experts on the right topics of importance. The experts come from various fields of expertise and experiences in the areas of law, judiciary, social areas, economics, governance, and so on. But before going ahead, what I observed, and from bottom of my heart I want to share with Honorable Rahul Karaj sir, that immaculate discipline, now I will say students, for last 2 days. This is the last particular valedictory session happening, but all the time hall was full, you were asking questions and you were not into your mobile. एक round of applause आपके लिए तो बनता है. As I mentioned yesterday, MIT World Peace University as a responsible academic institution carries motto of Vishwa Shanti Dhruvam Dhruva, which means let peace prevail in the entire universe. And we have made peace subjects mandatory in the curriculum of every academic program to introduce, inculcate, and infuse the culture of peace among the students. As you see movies, and when we used to see movies, there used to be one particular dialogue about law. Allow me to say it in Hindi. कानून के हाथ लंबे ही नहीं चौड़े भी होते हैं. कानून के हाथ लंबे ही नहीं चौड़े होते हैं, पर फिर भी कई लोग उससे पंगा लेते हैं. You have option of being other side of the law, the right side of law. And now it is for us to take a thoughtful call and decide whether we want to be law evading or law abiding, and thereby ensuring that peace actually prevails through dialogue, inclusivity, compassion, tolerance, cooperation, and following the rule of land. I also remind you yesterday, Honorable Justice was there in the inauguration. She said that Dr. Sadhana, she said that Mahatma Gandhi always had a stick in his hand. And all his followers, if he had given one stick, imagine what kind of power Mahatma Gandhi would have in terms of doing aggression. But he never did aggression. He never used his stick. But by dialogue, he resolved. So, dharna, aggression karna by using bad words, stick chalana, weapons chalana, उसके जगह अच्छे डायलॉग, सॉफ्ट डिप्लोमेसी से बहुत सारे बड़े विश्व के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होते हैं. ये आपको मालूम है, फिर भी आप एग्रेशन क्यों कर रहे हो? That was the one of the message. And Justice Kanade sir yesterday told that though artificial intelligence is going to be there are some of the cases where human intervention is required. Otherwise, artificial intelligence will give wrong judgments. And he gave a wonderful case of a young man marrying girl below 18, and then he was charged and put in Arthur Road jail, but he was invited to court of law, and the judgment was given that if 17.5-year-old girl, if she is aware of the consequence of marrying earlier 18 years, then that would not be crime. This Varadarajan court. Now, this kind of intervention by Justice Kanade says that your importance, my dear lawyers, in making is going day by day ahead. So don't bother about ChatGPT, present version of a futuristic version. Your value is going to be invaluable, and try to have a law-abiding focus, and God will bless you. I, from this side, all of us say that wish you best of the best. We are deeply appreciating your discipline and your involvement in this. And as I said yesterday in inauguration, next ISLP, all the speakers will be finalized by you, and you will be here, 25 of you, handling this particular dais. And that is the dream of Rahul Vishwanath Karad sir. Let this university be run by dynamic, intelligent, well-informed, well-cultured students. And you are on the right path. With this, I will like to stop here. Wishing you all the best. May God bless you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Vande Mataram.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words. And taking the cue from the words of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, where he mentioned that our Executive President is creator of one of many platforms which are, I would say, committed to strengthen the democratic fabric of our nation. Today is the valedictory session of 3rd ISLP. You all are, and all the tall luminaries sitting here today, are the law abiders, law enablers of this country. But if you remember the words spoken by Advocate Sadhana Jadhavji, who was here with us yesterday in the inaugural session from the Bombay High Court, she mentioned that it is important that law also has the tinge of empathy in it. And the law comes from the houses of our country. The lawmakers create the law. And it is important that they also understand, they also have the empathy that is required for while they are creating and making such laws. Sri Rahul V. Karad sir understood this need and created an important platform called National Legislators Conference Bharat. It is my honor to share with all the dignitaries on the dais that it is for the very first time in the history of independent India that more than 2,000 MLAs and MLCs from all states of our country came together. Yes, for the first time in the history. They came together and they deliberated upon the issues and challenges of our country in order to find a common solution. It was absolutely a sight of where all these MLAs and MLCs, more than 2,000, were discussing and deliberating. Some of us were lucky to witness those moments in person, but those who could not, I would like to take a lead and request my technical team if they can please show us some of the glimpses of National Legislators Conference, Bharat.
Anything you desire for the welfare of a person, this constitution paves a way for you to achieve your goal.
तो आप सभी विधायकों की अपेक्षा थी एक व्यूज शेयर करना, डाइवर्स व्यूज को सुनना और उन्हें जाकर अपने अपने स्टेट्स में इम्प्लीमेंट करना। मैं समझता हूँ ये राहुल कराड जी के इनिशिएटिव से निश्चित रूप से पूरी हुई है।
अच्छा लगा जब राहुल जी ने अलग अलग विधायकों ने जो अपने अपने विधानसभा क्षेत्र के अंदर जो नई प्रैक्टिस अपनाई, उनका परिदृश्य, उनकी प्रदर्शनी मैंने देखी।
India is now being recognized and respected worldwide.
These themes of your conference are vital strands of the work to enhance the effectiveness of all democratic legislatures.
मंच पर की गई चर्चाओं और नए विचारों से जनता की भलाई निश्चित रूप से सुनिश्चित होगी।
For the second National Legislative Conference, आप गोवा में आने के लिए तैयार हैं? मैं तैयार है क्या?
Whatever was said in India about thousands of years back is now being revealed by the entire world.
देश भर से हिस्सा ले रहे विधानसभा और विधान परिषद के सदस्यों अनंत शुभकामनाएं। आपका नरेंद्र मोदी।
हमारे मंच के ऊपर सभी विधानसभा के स्पीकर्स बैठे हुए हैं, मैं उनका मन से आभारी हूं। मैं बहुत इमोशनल भी आज हो गया हूं। बहुत सारे लीडर्स से बात किया था इसके बारे में। ये आज एक मैनिफेस्टेशन, एक इमेजिनेशन इस तरीके से यहाँ पे साकार हुआ।
Big round of applause, my friends, for the excellent execution and the concept of National Legislators Conference. And please put your hands together and welcome with a big round of applause, my friends, Shri Rahul V. Karat, sir.
Janani Janmabhumisha Swargadapi Gariyasi. On behalf of the bodies of trustees, our beloved founder Dr. Vishwanath Karad, our Vice Chancellor Dr. Chitnis, our Dean Professor George, Madam Inandar, another senior leader, and all the respected teachers of School of Law faculty, and of course, on behalf of all the students of this prestigious WPU School of Law, let me welcome the chief guest of today's program, Shri R.K. Anand Sahab, Advocate Nishit Desai Sahab, Madam Honorable Justice Srimati Roshan Dalviji, and of course the convener for this very prestigious conference, Shri Lalit Basin Sahab, under his leadership and the convenership we could organize this very important third National Symposium of Law and Peace. Thank you all the respected people here sitting and all of you for this successful conduct of this third edition of this conference, my dear friends. What a wonderful, I think Dr. Chitnis, you spoke beautifully about this, overall the purpose of the conference, and Madam Inamdar, you expressed your welcome message. I was briefed by last 2 days your engagement, my dear students, that the very purpose of this conference, because for whatever reason this particular institution started the School of Law, I must make a mention in front of all the respected dignitaries sitting on the dais, that many institutions started the private law school some 20 years, 25, 30 years before. We were primarily known for engineering, and after becoming the university, I think we initiated this particular venture also, and wonderful response. The first batch was, we could enroll, and the first batch is passed out also. I mean, 5 years before when we initiated. And I said to Madam Inamdar and some of my other colleagues that what way the school can be different. And this conference, again, is a part of that particular mission and thought process, my dear friends, that how do we create the industry-ready graduates? In the sense, tomorrow you are going to get into various law firms and the various high courts and the Supreme Courts and various capacities at the district level, all levels you are going to work. And keeping that spirit, today I felt that I must invite people like we all felt that Nishid Desai ji is one of the top 10 leading law firms in the country, my dear friends. So he is very much here, the Nishid Desai and Desai Company. So please give a big round of applause to Nishid Desai ji. These connections will take you a long way, my dear friends. Another leader sitting beside him is, of course, Lalit Basin Sahab. You know all the law firms of the country, all those, I don't know, the topmost law firms, maybe 1,000 law firms, one association he established some 20 years back. And today he is here, and basically for the first time I discussed this idea of establishing this conference for School of Law and all of your exposure and understanding. So ललित बसिन साहब, आपका पहले दिन से इस विषय में जो समर्थन सपोर्ट रहा उसके लिए मैं आपका मन से आभारी हूँ. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और इसी तरीके से हमारे बच्चों को और भी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आपके माध्यम से, तो उनके लिए भी, तो मंच पे ऊपर जितने भी लोग बैठे, आपको मतलब वही बात है, जीवन में आपको अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ अगर तैयार करने हैं तो मुझे लगता है कि दीज आर द प्रोफेशनल्स, दीज आर द सीनियर लीडर्स. तो आपका इनका आपने उंगली भी पकड़ा तो आप बहुत दूर तक जा सकते हैं. तो वो विचार करके मैंने सभी लोगों को, मेरे डीन और सभी लोगों को मैंने वही बात बोली है कि आई मस्ट टेल यू मैडम दलवी मैडम कि आई सेड टू माई टीचर्स इनिशियली वी वर कंसीविंग दिस आइडिया ऑफ स्कूल ऑफ लॉ कि बाकी बहुत सारे मूड कोड्स एंड वेरियस आइडियाज आर ऑलरेडी यू गाइज आर कंडक्टिंग हियर. But I said, let us, because 5 years students are with you, so it's a long period. So how do we really transform them truly unique in their own field? So I said to that time, my in charges there, and further Madam Inamdar and everybody, and Professor George also, and all the teachers, you may not be aware, but I said कि पूरे 5 साल में we see that we show them 5 to 6 high courts to the students. Can we attach the students with the various human rights commission, the police commissioner office, and various such other, the law ministers? We have very beautiful connections because of the School of Government with all the ministries of the country. So there is an opportunity for the internship, not just with the law firms, and that I have said that 4 to 6 months law firm, that traditional approach is there, but practically how do you really work on the ground so that as you pass out, you truly become, immediately ready for the society and the societal challenges as you face. And when in our private conversation I was discussing to Madam Dalvi, Honorable Justice, Madam, she validated, she said it's an important dimension that if you are giving such, internship to the students, even for that matter, just now what you saw, the first time in the history of the country, all 2,200 MLAs registered and 1,700 MLAs participated in this conference. Many of you have worked. So some of you, I said to my leaders here, the academic leaders, that you all should get attached at least for 2 months with the MLAs, because they are the lawmakers. So you will get the practical insight, working with them, helping them, and further enhancing your knowledge and that overall the co-creation, my dear friends. So here, this institution is a very purposefully driven, as you all are aware. Our founder, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, he is not here today, my dear friends. But when he thought of this very concept of the World Peace University, people laughed on him. How can there be a university which say for the higher education, how can you give a name like a peace? But ultimately, you all should know that this particular law conference name is also International Law and Peace we are talking about. Our institution name is also World Peace. So the other day I was talking with Nishid Desai Sahab. He said, Rahul, the philosophy and law is not separate. Our Indian ethos, our Indian values, or any such, for that matter, any religious, the structures of our society, so many religions are working. So there is a deep-rooted philosophy. And the philosophy and law is how it is one and the same. I think those very academic aspects and the very fundamentals, they will definitely speak through their speech. But my dear friends, you all should be very, very demanding. This particular exercise of law conference next year, when we do that, what Dr. Chitnis, our Vice Chancellor, said, this, you all should take a lead, second senior batches, and see that, you know, we create truly, you know, the unique model, working with the MLAs, working with NGOs. All such ideas will make you truly unique, my dear friends. And so here, the activism of all of you, I'm expecting, you know, I always say that we have some student elections are going on, all the respected members sitting on the dais, I must say. So I said, so this is an institution which promotes the democratic values. Many in between, because of whatever reasons, even the various governments and the courts, they banned the student election. I said, we should have a very solid student elections. Now, with the new law of system, this, again, elections have started in the country. And we are promoting that we want the students to come forward to this very exercise, and this process is going on. I think for some reason there were some issues, so I have delayed that process. So please take the part in all such activities, my dear friends. And I truly wish that, you know, this particular conference of lawmakers, what was it initiated, 5 साल पहले मैंने ये कल्पना पहली बार मैंने बोली थी कि पूरे भारत के MLAs कभी भी इकट्ठा नहीं आए। 75 साल के इतिहास में पहली बार ऐसा हुआ कि तमिलनाडु का, महाराष्ट्र का MLA और आंध्र प्रदेश के और कर्नाटका के MLA एक दूसरे को मिल रहे हैं। तो मेरी सिंपल कि लॉ मेकिंग के माध्यम से समाज का भला कैसे हो सकता है और पीस हम कैसे अचीव कर सकते हैं, इसके बारे में हम सब लोगों ने सोचना है। So my thought process goes, I said to, while convincing Mr. Desai ji and various other members here कि आपका इसमें participation क्यों ज़रूरी है। मैंने बोला कि ये प्राइवेट इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस है, प्राइवेट मेडिकल कॉलेजेस हम यहाँ पे चलाते हैं, लेकिन the first time the scheme in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka in 70s, you know, there were private engineering colleges, medical colleges and private institutions were existed in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. Maharashtra, it came much later. After our founder, he wrote an article in Times of India that Maharashtra needs private colleges, and that's how in 83, the first institution in city of Pune, the private engineering college was initiated. And likewise, when I see various such laws and various such ideas in various states, I don't know why there is a lag amongst the various states. Why that particular ideal law or policy to migrate from that particular state to come to this particular state, why it takes time. So I want all of you to be vigilant and think in this direction, my dear friends. Even, you know, as an active citizen, in my case, I see even the adjustment in the courts, what we see. Can we make some law कि okay, 5 बार से ज़्यादा हम adjustment नहीं कर सकते, कितनी बार कुछ हो सकता है क्या? There is a law. So, so इसके ऊपर implementation, it is not followed. There is a law, but it is not followed. तो ऐसी छोटे-छोटे विषय है. मुझे नहीं पता, सर मैं freebies का culture, हम अभी political पार्टियों में इसके ऊपर law नहीं आ सकता क्या? मैं एक active citizen के नाते विचार करता हूँ कि okay, all the political parties and governments, they want to give freebies culture. You know that in Tamil Nadu TV दिए गए, और भी महाराष्ट्र में कहाँ, कर्नाटका में, सभी राज्यों में क्या-क्या किस तरीके से, और हम सब लोग एक सिटीजन के नाते इसकी तरफ देखते हैं, वोटर के नाते हम इसकी तरफ देखते हैं, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि हमारा सब इन विषयों की तरफ हमारा ध्यान होना चाहिए। तो मैं कल सोच रहा था कि ऐसा हो सकता है कि इलेक्शंस जब 2 साल का टाइम है, उससे पहले आपको जो भी फ्रीबीज देना है दे दो। मतलब एक सिंपल लॉजिक, आई एम जस्ट, and 2 years before you can't, 2 years before you can do that, but during that 2 years time, not before the election, something, some resolution can it happen. So आनंद साहब, आप राजनीति में भी थे, आप लॉयर भी थे, तो आप सोचिए कि मतलब अगली बार गोवा में दिस एडिशन ऑफ NLC is going to happen, वहाँ पे करीबन 2500 के लगभग पूरे MLAs भारत के आने जा रहे हैं, और आप जानते हैं कि 70-80% भारत का हमारा गवर्नेंस राज्यों के माध्यम से चलता है, जो ग्राउंड के ऊपर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन होता है। तो वहाँ पे हम कुछ इस तरीके से एकेडमिक रेजोल्यूशंस बना सकते हैं क्या कि हम हमारे देश में इस तरीके से ये चीज़ों के ऊपर अमल आना चाहिए। मैं शरद पवार साहब के साथ भी कल परसों बैठा था, मैंने बोला सर आप ऐसा कुछ डिक्लेयर कर सकते हैं कि 2030 के बाद हमारी NCP पार्टी किसी भी व्यक्ति को जो डिग्री होल्डर नहीं है हम उनको टिकट नहीं देंगे, या किसी भी क्रिमिनल को हम टिकट नहीं, ऐसा कुछ आप रिजॉल्व, एक फोरकास्ट, ऐसा एक विजन अगला रख के सभी पार्टियों ने अगर ये रिजॉल्व किया, हम सब लोग जानते हैं, हम सब इसी के पार्ट एंड पार्सल हैं। लोग जेल में बैठ के भी इलेक्शन जीतते हैं, ये भी हम देख रहे हैं, और हम क्या सिखा रहे हैं हमारे बच्चों को भी। दे आर बडिंग 1920 इज अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल एज बचिन साहब, मुझे ऐसे लगता है। तो और उस उम्र में या उससे पहले भी हम, तो ये सब वी आर ऑल एब्जॉर्बिंग, वी ऑल हैव कम थ्रू दिस एक्सरसाइज, वी हैव कम हियर, एंड ये पूरा वाइड आइज ओपन से हम देखते हैं और हमें लगता है ये नॉर्म है, ये चलता है, ये कोई एबनॉर्मल नहीं लगता है हमें. एंड वी एक्सेप्ट एंड अडॉप्ट दिस फैक्ट. आई एम साउंडिंग लिटिल आइडियलिस्टिक आनंद साहब, आप पूरी राजनीति देखिए, मैडम गांधी के साथ आपने कितना कहाँ राजनीति का क्या क्या देखा है अपने सबके जीवन में, और आप सब लोग शायद निश्चित भाई कंपैरेटिवली यंग है, मैडम भी यंग है, बट आप दोनों ने भी कितना कुछ देखा है. तो इस तरीके से आप सब लोगों को मेरी विनती है कि आप पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट लिटिगेशंस की बात है तो स्कूल ऑफ लॉ की तरफ से भी आप कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या ऐसा. So in that direction with your academic leaders and other teachers, you must think, my dear friends, and we can really take this particular law school to the different level. I mean to say, I want, of course, you are the very important members of any such institution is created because of the merit of the students and their involvement. And keeping the same spirit, Dr. Chitnis, next edition when we hold this, students go from day one, they should be involved. All the deans, I want to tell you, aisa model, let them think, because with the modern time now, AI and GPT chat, the other day, so मैं आज भाषण देने के लिए आ रहा था, तो बोले speech for Rahul Karad on school, it completely comes out. You all are aware, and there are so many softwares are coming for even how to really control this. So we all, as educationists also, from this side also, we have to think. So some such practical exercises are very, very important through which students can be developed in a complete manner and a holistic manner. So once again, I say good luck to all of you. I think you all have understood very essence what I'm talking. And please see that, I want your complete involvement in we are talking about the life transformation. So societal transformation. Through education, how can we transform the society? So that is the mission of this institution, and that's how the MIT School of Government, the first school of the country to develop the future politicians, we started way back in the year 2005. People laughed on me, how can there be a school which can educate the youngsters to get into public life? And further, Bharatiya Chhatra Sansad, then National Women's Parliament, National Teachers Congress, and now this Rashtriya Vidayak Sammelan, a simple seed thought, my dear friends. You all should get that one single thread, and you can elongate long way. So please see that some people get that particular thread at the age of 19, 20, 22, 24, 25. But somewhere you should get that thread. And I feel very proud and happy that, this one single thought of MIT School of Government, the first school of the country to develop the future politicians, which has given the birth to this conference. Nobody in the country last 75 years could hold this, and people today also, they are not able to digest many political governance. ये कौन राहुल कराड़, MIT कौन संस्था है ये? इन्होंने पूरे भारत के 80 करोड़ लोगों को रिप्रेजेंट करने वाले करीबन 2000 MLAs यहाँ पे इकट्ठा किए मुंबई में. तो निश्चित भाई आपने वो खुद उसमें मतलब when we were working, you supported that idea. All of you have directly, indirectly. So much can be done, my dear students. So please think like this through this conference. Then only we can achieve and we can go closer to that aspect of peace, my dear friends, what our founder, Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir, has envisaged. And he's all the time thinking, how do I imbibe that DNA amongst all of you so that we create a harmonious and peaceful society. Thank you so much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you indeed, Sri Rahul Karad sir, for creating such platforms and opportunities for the young students and to deliberate and discuss upon the future issues and the current issues and path ahead. Thank you very much, sir. It's indeed the apt moment where I invite and request the convener of ISLP, Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasinji, to address the gathering. But before I do that, I would like to request my technical team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Dr. Lalit Bhasinji.
Dr. Lalit Bhasin is a distinguished lawyer with over 5 decades of law practice. He started his law practice in 1962 and has developed Bhasin and Company as one of the leading law firms in India. Bhasin and Company currently maintains offices in New Delhi and Mumbai and has 28 associates. He is an honorable life member of the International Bar Association, chairman of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, and a member of the ICC Arbitration India Core Group. He is the former president of the Inter-Pacific Bar Association and a former chairman of the Film Certification Appellate Tribunal of India. He was awarded honorary membership of the IBA in Melbourne in 1994 for outstanding service to the legal profession. Dr. Bhasin was awarded a Doctor of Laws honoris causa by Jaipur University in 2013. Dr. Bhasin was felicitated with a Plaque of Honor for outstanding contribution to the rule of law in 2002 by the Prime Minister of India and the National Law Day Award in 2007 by the President of India. We warmly welcome Dr. Lalit Bhasin.
Please put your hands together, my friends, and welcome with a big round of applause, Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasin ji.
It is always very inspiring to meet Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad. So we had the good fortune of meeting him just before coming to this auditorium here. The exchange of ideas with him is always, you see, very encouraging, and the vision which he has got and what he has already created with the help of Rahul ji, and I think that is unprecedented anywhere in the world, and I can say that with daring certainty. The issues which have come up, I think that is the focus of the activities of this great university, MIT. They take up the issues which concern the future, not only of our young students here, the future of not only our country, but I think the future of the universe. And that is why this topic is there today, as I am told that the theme of the valedictory is sensitizing legal professionals to herald peace and harmony in the world through the lens of law. I welcome all my very distinguished dignitaries present here. Two of them are my colleagues you see in the profession, Mr. R.K. Anand and Mr. Nishid Desai. And one has been a very eminent judge of Bombay High Court, Justice Roshan Dalvi. And of course, we have the faculty represented by Mr. Chitnis and Professor Inamdar and Mr. Bapat, who has been presenting, you see this, very efficiently. Faculty members and dear students. As I read out to you the theme, I have a different perspective and a different point of view. I feel that you cannot achieve peace just through the means of law. Law is very, very technical. Law is applicable within certain jurisdiction. In India, you have Indian law. In other countries, you have Indian law. And what I have been emphasizing, and India has taken the lead. How India has taken the lead? I just now saw a famous Vasudev Kutumbakam. When we were sitting with Vishwanath ji, that was shown to us. So that idea has originated from India. Then the idea was United Nations. What is United Nations? The nations are supposed to unite in resolving issues. But do we have Vasudev Kutumbakam today? Do we have the nations which are united? No. What is the reason? But India has again shown the lead. G20. For the first time, there was a remarkable consensus among the G20 countries, you see, on various issues which concern not only the economic development of these countries, but also the future of the world. So, what has law to do with peace? I have been saying that, and if I'm not mistaken, I said that earlier also in one of the events, either in Vigyan Bhavan or here, that our constitution in the first preamble says that we have to secure for our citizens justice, social, economic, political. The word law does not figure there. Justice figures there. And justice has no boundaries, unlike law. Justice is prevalent everywhere. Therefore, what has to be emphasized is that we should have justice. There should be a declaration from this forum or any other forum, declaration for universal justice. That way only you can ensure peace, if you combine the concept of justice with peace. There should be universal conventions, universal protocols, which should be binding on all the nations which are privy, you see, which are part of the United Nations. And what is justice? We have, so many of you here who are students must have heard natural justice. So justice is something which is very, very natural to the mankind. So we can't sidestep, you see, the justice part of it and focus only on law, which is very, very, very technical. Therefore, my humble suggestion to Mr. Rahul Karad and the faculty is that if we could have some events on justice and peace, where emphasis should be given to justice. Now, I have said that India has taken the lead. Our constitution provides for that. But unfortunately, even in our own country, let us forget now about the world, let us forget about the peace part also. Are the Indian citizens getting justice? 5 crore cases pending all over the country. All high-profile cases are being decided, whether it is by the Supreme Court or whether by the High Court, all politically oriented cases or caste cases or Mandir Masjid cases. All these cases are being taken up and decided. No one has bothered to look into, you see, what is happening to the common citizen whose cases are pending. Where is justice here, which is enshrined in our constitution? Therefore, what needs to be done is somehow this notorious laws delays have to be eliminated. How do we eliminate that? How do we eliminate that? We can eliminate that not by alternate dispute resolution of arbitration. That has also failed in India because again, that is monopolized and cartelized by the retired judges. I'm not talking about your ladyship, about you. You are actually encouraging mediation and everything because I know we have shared platform with you. Therefore, arbitration has become very expensive, very prolonged. What is the answer? Answer is go back to our ancient, you see, heritage. Samjhauta. The Gram Panchayats, they used to have consensual form of, you see, rendering justice. Consensual form, not adversarial form of justice. Therefore, let us adopt Samjhauta, settlement of dispute. And I always tell my juniors and I always tell the law students to keep this in mind, that a bad settlement is better than successful litigation in India. Therefore, promote settlements, promote samjhautas. mediation. Mediation is the answer. And mediation brings peace. It is directly connected with peace. Whether it is mediation of disputes between individuals, between corporate bodies, or between nations, it is mediation eventually which helps. Therefore, try to do that. And the message I am giving to you, the student community, we have had our innings. I have had 61 years in the profession, 85 years of age. Possibly I am looking younger with this cap which I am wearing because it hides my bald hair, you see. So the future is with you. You have to bring this change in the mindset of people that forget about litigations and other things. Just try to resolve your disputes. If you do that, you will be helping us, you will be helping the country, and you will be helping the economy, you will be helping promoting the peace. Peace in the families, peace in the corporate world, and eventually peace in the world. That is how you connect justice with peace, but not law and peace. That is my appeal to you. Please help us in doing that. My young students here, तेरा हाथ हाथ में आ गया कि चिराग राह में जल गए, हमें सहल हो गई मंजिलें कि हवा के रुख भी बदल गए. Thank you.
Such a beautiful address. A big round of applause and a standing ovation. Sir, kindly accept this standing ovation from all the young minds. A big round of applause once again for Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasinji. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom. And as you rightly said, that the most important factor in this world of chaos and massacres is justice, and which should be delivered. Thank you very much, sir, for your kind words. My friends, it is now time when I request the special guest of honor to address the gathering. But before I do that, I would like to request my team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Justice retired Madam Roshan Dalvi.
Justice Roshan S. Dalvi is the former judge of Bombay High Court. She was appointed Fellow of Government Law College and awarded Merit Scholarship of University of Bombay, LLM. She had practiced as a counsel on the original side of the Bombay High Court from August 1976 to September 1989 in civil and corporate matters. She was visiting faculty at the Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies and Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies for corporate law between 1979 and 1989. She was appointed as judge, Bombay City Civil and Sessions Court in September 1989. She had presided over civil and criminal matters and Special Court, CBI, and Special Court, MPID, for anti-corruption and investor fraud cases. She served as Principal Judge, Family Court, Mumbai, from July 2004 to December 2004. She had conducted workshops as resource person for judges and lawyers on gender laws, court and cases management and alternative disputes resolution, ADR. She was elevated as judge to the Bombay High Court bench in June 2005 and appointed as judge of the Special Court TORTS, Bombay, 19th November 2012. We warmly welcome Justice Roshan S. Dalvi.
Please put your hands together, my friend, and welcome with a big round of applause, Justice Roshan Dalvi.
Friends, good evening. Valediction means farewell. That is the dictionary meaning. And that valediction, friends, I would like to show you by way of a PPT. in this sensitization of valediction, what we talk about first is, it's not working. As Mr. Lalit Bhasin said, that we need the combination of justice for peace, not only law for peace. But I would put a little rider. It should be law and justice for peace. Because law plus X is justice. This, friends, what you see is what I read in a small church compound in Halifax, Canada. I was there as a fellow of the Commonwealth Judicial Education Institute, which I'm proud to be a fellow of. And I happened to go into a church, and there in a compound I read, which has remained with me until today, and it is there. If you want peace, friends, you have to work for justice. When the Rotary International offered me a fellowship after I retired in peace and conflict resolution, which is advanced mediation in short, they asked me that as a judge, what is conflict resolution and how do you do it? And I said, we deal with resolution of conflicts of individuals every day. That is our job. And that was carried further, and we saw how this conflict resolution at the highest international level has worked at many places. Martti Ahtisaari, the erstwhile Prime Minister of Finland, has brokered mediation and settlement between countries, between Sri Lanka and Let. Norway has done it between Bosnia and other countries. I studied it for Indonesia. We had been to Indonesia and saw how the conflict of 14 years, armed conflict, ultimately resulted in a peace treaty of 6 pages only. And that is prevailing till today. So friends, this is when people feel that they have got justice. And that is the bottom line. So what people say is, what is peace? Peace is absence of war. No, it's not only that. It's not only absence of war or armed conflict. It is absence of any conflict. If there is conflict in the family, in the society, between contracting parties, in countries, in a section of the country with another, then there is no peace. So as we go further, we must see a broad picture, a macro picture. And that is not in our law textbooks. Friends, if you will see that India has been a land of immigration through the ages. These are all of the peoples that have come into India. And just as America boasts that it is a land of immigrants, and it really is, we boast also that we are a land of immigrants. The thing is unison and not division. It is not the question of divide and rule which can give us peace. And these aspects of sensitization, friends, as you can see, is the spirit of inclusion, the culture of understanding, the attitude of tolerance, the level of progress, and the atmosphere of peace and prosperity. That together is what can beget justice. Hence, as we go along, we find that there are international illustrations of peace. These are various things and various countries who have done things well. USA and Canada have a very long border, but it is borderless. Greece and Turkey had a partition in 1923, just 25 years before India's partition, and it was not bloody. It was when people decided to move into Greece or Turkey as they wished as they were Christians and Muslims, and we unfortunately did not take their example. USA and Japan were at war in the Second World War, and today they are friends. Japan has donated even flowers to USA. The cherry blossoms are in Washington. Germany and GDR had a wall, and that wall broke down when Gorbachev broke it down, and when Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, break down that wall." And the two countries became one Germany, and that Germany prospered. Bosnia and Herzegovina had a war, and today there is no war. We hope that that peace prevails. Indonesia and Aceh, as I told you, my friends, it's like the example of Jammu and Kashmir and India. Aceh was a part of Indonesia. There was 14 years armed conflict. And then there came the tsunami of 2004, Christmas Day. And people lost their lives. And they realized, what is it that we are fighting for? And that was how they thought that peace came, and it came. We can take their example, and before another tsunami, we all can come together in our country and always have peace. Ethiopia and Eritrea had a peace, but not for long. Even the Prime Minister of Ethiopia got a peace prize. And we would hope that thereafter, one conflict which was there is not repeated. So friends, in our home scene, what we see is, we had early immigrants. We remember Ashok the Great, who changed his religion from Hinduism to Buddhism, because after the war, 20,000 people lying dead before him, he could not take. Then came the Mughals, the invaders and conquerors, who then became our part, and today they are with us as our brothers, Hindus and Muslims together. The British came and gave us the rule of law. The partition taught us many things. The Constitution then kept us together. That is our Bible today. And India today must follow the Constitution: liberty, equality, and fraternity. Therefore, friends, we see that these are the peace oases in the world. These are the countries where there have been no conflicts. But there are also other examples. And those examples are teaching us how to achieve peace. Conflict resolution is resolving disputes, peacemaking, peace-waking, and now what we call conflict transformation. This is where the international conflict resolution has gone. It is not only mediation, it is negotiation, facilitation, mediation, and conciliation all into one. And these are aspects of study in all these walks of life, not only in the school of law. In all of these, even in public policy, we learn and we must learn how to beget peace. Therefore, the areas of work, friends, are one too many. And I would think of these areas, it is for all of these people, beginning with lawyers and judges, going down to the entire community and society. The women in this conflict play a very important part. WISCOMP is in India. It works from the Dalai Lama Foundation, which is the Nobel Peace Prize which Dalai Lama has donated for world peace. And India works in WISCOMP. And peace and profit in the economic peace for greater security is where we have. In Nigeria, they say that the oil companies are working for peace, because otherwise, if peace prevails, those oil companies would benefit. So you see, it has also the economic value. Starbucks, and very interestingly, a thing like Starbucks, it's closed down some aspects because of safety concerns in countries where there were no peace. So business also is affected when there is no peace. And therefore, young friends of mine, I would call you peace warriors. The peace-oriented resolution is what will take your attitude and altitude further. And this, I would say, is the second freedom movement. It will make India truly free if we have no conflict. And if our conflicts are resolved as they should across the table, we can give a lesson or two to our leaders who are really our public servants. And I'm happy that today in India we have this university, World Peace University. There are not many in the world like that. But there is another institute called Kindness Institute in California, which also teaches peace. So friends, I would end with saying we may not reach the promised land, but we can march to it. The next generation will. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. A big round of applause once again for ma'am. Thank you very much. My friends, it is really beautiful and I would say enjoyable for all of us to listen to the views of the dignitaries here present on the dais. And we are getting to learn so much from their words of wisdom. So I would like to thank once again, ma'am, for your presentation and all the thoughts that you have shared with our young minds. Thank you very much. It is now indeed my honor and privilege to request the chief guest of this session to address the gathering. But before I do that, I request my team to kindly relay a small film made on life and work of Advocate Nishit Desai ji.
Nishit Desai is the founder of Nishit Desai Associate, an India-centric global law firm. Nishit's interests span a wide spectrum of law, society, and ethics. He is a renowned international lawyer, author, lecturer, researcher, innovator, and thought leader. Dr. Nishit Desai is regarded as the father of international tax in India and is a true pioneer in the field of international tax law. For his contribution to the practice of law in India, Dr. Nishit Desai has been awarded honorary doctorate recognition by Amity University in March 2023. Soon after India opened its economy to the outside world in 1991, Nishit pioneered the roots of the asset management industry in India. He has assisted the governments of Mauritius and India in launching their offshore financial centers. He established the first 5 India-focused funds. He played a seminal role in structuring several private equity funds in addition to structuring several domestic venture capital funds. The firm has now worked for over 1,400 funds across all asset classes. We warmly welcome Dr. Nishit Desai.
Thank you. Once again, please welcome with a big round of applause, my friends, Advocate Nishit Desai ji.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Rahul ji, Lalit ji, Rahul ji, Mrs. Dalvi, Purnima, Vignesh ji, and Papat ji, I think. And plus all of you around here, right? I'm going to sit and talk because I'm just coming out of dengue and jaundice put together after 2 months of like hospitalization and this thing. So this is my first trip outside Mumbai after a long time. And sometimes I get a little tired. So please pardon me for my seated here for a while. I think all that has been said, I have nothing left, actually. So all that I can do is to reflect on some of the things that has been said. First thought that came to our mind, why in the world, when we talk of peace, people think of peace. So they divide the world into different pieces and create conflicts. Actually, peace, and I would say that MIT world, peace is a wholesome, university. I think we have an opportunity to change the world for the better together today. If I see law and peace together. I think law is a double-edged sword. It can unite people. It can also divide people. I think you made a very good reference to immigration, right? Immigration laws, in my view, are a worse form of protectionism and against human rights. Every human being has a right to prosper in an legitimate way. Okay. I think some of your students should really work on getting rid of immigration, okay, except bad actors or something, that anyway. But otherwise, we are all animals, like social animals, like any other animal. We can travel anywhere to anywhere. Until the early last century, there were no passports, there were nothing. Okay? And now we have created a divide. Religion and law. Let me just give you a little context. Look at. Both are philosophies. Ultimately, they are philosophies. So law is a philosophy, but it is codified. Okay. Therefore, it becomes law. For example, you have philosophy that, okay, if somebody commits a murder, he must be hanged. Somebody will say no. Capital punishment is not good. It's a philosophical approach. Okay. And in the process, as I said, that all the laws have philosophy behind that. And when it's codified. Religion is again a philosophy. If you see, go behind religious, here is, almost all religions have somewhat similar, if not identical message to give. Okay. But religion, to me, is rituals added to the philosophy. Over a period of time, we focus more on rituals and forget about what was the intent behind it, why it was introduced or whatever it is, right? So I think if we can do comparative study and try to harmonize, I think ultimately world will have to be educated. We have a great opportunity, as I think repeatedly since morning we have heard Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Okay, world is one family, right? I remember one of my favorite politicians or saintly politicians, Vinoba Bhave. I've repeated that a number of times. After we got independence, until we got independence, we said Jai Hind. In 1955, he wrote in Sarvodaya Patrika that forget about Jai Hind now, talk about Jai Jagat. So every single piece he wrote, he ended with Jai Jagat, means, hail the world, not just India. So I think that is the broadening of thought process. And I think we need to really think, how many of us think climate refugees in other countries? We are very happy every morning we read about our growth, our prosperity, etc. But how much empathy do we have towards people who are dying in Gaza and Israel and, all those kind of things? What role can India play? I personally feel that if we create non-violence, a global voice from India, we have a unique positioning in the world. In the war, who wins? No country wins. It's only the companies that win, right? And in the process, I think there is a need to create a voice. And India, if it wants to position, it should position based on non-violence. Just as, we made yoga, for example, right? A global talk, right? Something happened. Now we need to see that, non-violence, verbal, physical, all those things we need to imbibe. I think that is the way to, look at the world in the future. Third point I would make is that look to the future. Look to the future, and let me give you an example of my own law firm. We've developed a firm which is a research-based law firm, and the way in which we work is to do trend assessment and forecasting going forward 3, 5, 10, 15 years from now, and see what are the new technologies that are going to come. What are the new socio-political, economic developments that are likely to come, and visualize today what will the future legal, ethical, or other issues that will be coming up, and prepare to solve those problems today. Look at AI, artificial intelligence. Two parts to that. Okay. Today there is something called AGI. Okay. That means technology has already reached the level which is equal to human intelligence. Okay. That is a dangerous point. Of course, it has a huge benefit as well. And that is why you see all this AI and other kind of stuff happen. And, because if you do not try to visualize what will be the problems, once problems come, you won't be able to handle. The tsunami of technology is so rapid and so strong that you have no time to think. So you become reactionary rather than being proactively solving the problem. So you can work out. Just give one example. I wrote one article on autonomous weapons. Okay. Now, in the future, you can have a gun and its bullet. You can name somebody specific on the bullet, and bullet will go and find that person and shoot him. Because if their data is compromised, okay, you can target an individual, okay, and those are the kind of things. Autonomous weapons have no heart, okay. What do you do with that? Okay. We need, as you said, global treaty or global, some kind of consensus as to what are the limits to which you can, of course there is no limit to innovation and other kind of stuff, but I think we can find a way to harness the benefits of the future technology. But, I'm sorry, harness the technology, but at the same time, visualize the downside to the whole thing. And a lot of ethical issues come. Look at driverless car. If a human being is driving a car, he can take, and somebody comes in front of car, he can take a judgmental call. His intent is then ascertained whether he intended to kill somebody or he was actually accident or whatever it is, right? But in driverless car, you have to pre-program if somebody comes in front of you, okay, whether car will run over and save the passenger or it will kill the human being who comes in front of car. Now those are very tricky issues because in driverless car runs based on, autonomous vehicle as you call it, on based on software, sensor providers, again insurance companies become part of it, and the founders of the companies. So there are a lot of issues that are coming up with every technology. Similarly, you can visualize all with the future social problems. There is huge disparity of wealth amongst the people. Having wealth, creating wealth is not a problem. But beyond a point, when it gets into the political arena and it begins to impact the society, that is where sometimes there is a concern. So how do you manage? But you have to think of these issues little ahead of time, and you have, as students and as university professor, you can think ahead of time in a more dispassionate manner. We as lawyers are often, handling clients and interest of client and other things, so we may have some biases. But together we can remove those biases and have some law which is fair, equitable, and that is what is justice, right? I also wrote one piece in honor of Justice Venkateshwara, and it is justice at the speed of thought without injustice. Let us work towards that. If you use technology, if you use theories, lot of things can be solved just by technology. Simplest example of justice, okay, at the lower level, is, for example, you're driving a car. At one point of time, police will, and you exceed the speed limit, police will come and pick you up. Today, technology will take a picture, immediately issue a ticket, you got a proof, not to get it. So this, what I have talked about, is very basic. So today, if you elevate technology to different level, evidences can be produced and justice can also be done by technology. Of course, we have to bear in mind one expression that was used, I think, empathy. Okay, that is a human element, but at the same time, at least 80-90% of the cases you can resolve by way of, including in courts. I believe now, in 4 years' time, I'm told that, most of the hearings will be online, right? And that is the aim, at least. Let's see how it unfolds. But that's a good thing. So we have to see that, first of all, we use technology, we use our empathy factor, we create philosophies, and based on that, we create laws which are, fair and equitable and justicious to people. A lot of people are sitting in jails. Of course, you made the mention that there are a lot of politicians who are in jail and they fight election and get elected also. Again, there also is a problem. Sometimes wrongly people are put in jail. What is their, plight, And so we will have to take philosophical decisions at what level one should be able to fight elections, not fight elections. Most of the freedom fighters have gone to jail. Okay. So I'm not being judgmental here, but I'm saying that we need to take some call on identifying the issues, attack that issue, be innovative, and solve a problem. As Justice Shandalvi mentioned, even arbitration. In the US, most people don't like arbitration. They like court process. It is cheaper, it is faster. Okay, can we not do that? I'm not against arbitration. I was the first director of Singapore International Arbitration Center, and I think it is one of the most popular, forum today. But I'm saying there is somewhere on the line, we need to understand that arbitration is an expensive process. Okay, so in the US, most of the ordinary people would prefer to go to court, and because we are paying taxes, okay, we are paying judges. Right? So we expect them to do justice to us in our society. And as I said, this is all about International Symposium on Law and Practice. So if it is international, I think new theories are coming up. And a lot of work in Denmark and other places being done. Whether who is sovereign? Is it state sovereign or is it individual? So the theory is that individual sovereignty is at a higher level than the state sovereignty. Okay. In some countries, communist countries, they say state owns a person, state owns a citizen, so they can do anything with that. It is like slavery. In what you call, in the olden days, slaves were regarded as a property. You could buy, sell, do whatever you want to do. You can possess, you can destroy. Nothing could happen. But I think we have to come out of those, and new theories are coming up of, individual sovereignty. I'm not being judgmental here, and I'm not. But I think we need to think of those larger issues. And third is that when we have international conventions, that also is a part of law, international law, right? And we can create more harmonious kind of a framework to do justice to the people. And today I see number of countries, every country has its own judicial process, like people have been put in solitary confinement, which is removed in India for a long period of time, because that's the worst punishment. Okay, but in Qatar, people have been put in. Again, I'm not being judgmental here whether Qatar is right or wrong, but I think it is for us to have public opinion on some of these basics, which are basic human rights or basic of the criminal jurisprudence, and how do you resolve that? And more cases would be happening on a cross-border basis today, because the geography gets blurred, and it is going to be blurred. Because as I was trying to tell you, that state is different from nation. State is a geography-centric concept. nation is more esoteric, okay, culture, ethnicity, many other things that goes with that. You know better than I know. And we need to understand that state concept, which is geography centric, is getting more and more blurred. Okay, it is going to be very difficult to manage territorial. And what happens in war? Both countries fight, two countries fight, and acquire territory. After acquiring territory, piece of geography, what do? They privatize. And who? The hotels and other kind of stuff. Privatize. And the former enemies are the owners of those hotels. So resources are still tapped. So in the whole game, what are we achieving? So if we can sensitize people on number of things that now are happening and number of new theories that are coming up, it would be very useful. And as students of law, I think it's our duty to study not only the Indian law, but also how it operates elsewhere. Many times our law is better than other one. And finally, I will say that, like, you look at, we got most of our laws from England, right? Common law. When British came, they gave us good legal system. Better than what they had, because most of their law was unwritten, given and all that. So they clarified a lot of ambiguities that existed in the English law. And we got a codified system like Indian Penal Code or many other ones, right? We got very good laws. They were exported to Singapore, for those days, Malaysia, or Singapore, Aden, Burma, all the countries if you go. So we had a better system, because when you have something new, you can do it better. When British got India, it was a new society, like, new thing for them to work. So they improved on their system and brought those laws to India. We got better legal system than England, okay? And we exported. Now we can use the same system to improve and change the, world for the better together. I think it's 3 minutes up. It's almost 1,000 seconds. I'm sorry. So I think we have so much innovations to do, so much of thinking that we can do around together. And Rahulji, what you did with MLAs was a wonderful job. I think bringing together, accepting each other's views, which may be completely diverse or opposite, but still sit together and talk. So I think those kind of forums are very important. And in fact, on that symposium, I made a presentation. Do we really need MLAs and MPs? I said, we are moving toward the world which is, who are the MPs and MLAs, right? They are agents of the people, correct? What is agents and intermediaries are getting disintermediated by technology. So it reduces the cost. It brings more transparency. So in the future, we are going to move from democracy to what is called netocracy. We can have parliament in the cloud. Of course, we just got new parliament, so I would not talk much about it. But I'm saying that you can reduce the cost. Whole parliament can be in the cloud, okay? Of course, parliament will still keep. It's a very nice facility and a lot of other things you can do. But I'm saying the whole parliament, if you do it in the cloud, travel expense of MPs, MLAs, throwing chappals or any other kind of thing, okay, snubbing people, going on and on. Lot of things you can control. The speaker's job will become a little easier. I'm sorry. So the whole concept is that why can't we think of a parliament in the cloud, in the air, right? You're more effective. You are able to listen to person one-on-one basis. And the best thing is that, you can manage time like courts, right? When e-hearing happens, I think the time is little better controlled. than when you have physical oral arguments going on for days together. It's such a nice thing. I remember when I was growing up, I just loved what Devi Pal talked and Palkhiwala talked. Even though whether it was necessary or not, but just to listen, it was a good conversation, right? So I think similarly we can do a lot of things using technology, and you know, it's all our own imagination, our own thinking, and together we can create a world that we want. Ultimately, we create the world that we want. So it is up to us. Let us come together. I'm so delighted. First of all, this is my first visit to this university. I'm so impressed, and wonderful environment, wonderful leadership. Thank you, Rahulji and Krishna Karatji, for presenting this university to the state. And you know, I think you have been very creative. I think we can use creativity to change the world for the better together. And we'll be very happy, as you said, students are going on internship to ministers or other people. It is a very good idea. I'm sorry I'm going too long, but the advantage of doing internship at places other than lawyers is that your mindset becomes broader and you become innovative. Today, biggest innovations happen not with unidimensional approach. Say, for example, if you've done engineering, you do great thing, PhD, etc. But when you combine that with the bioengineering creates huge opportunities for innovation. So in Silicon Valley, where we are office, it's constantly diversity and working in a cross-functional way gives you a way to solve problems. You know, otherwise you technically are right, but you do not solve a problem. And I would suggest that also keep your mind and heart open to all the ideas and try to be innovative. Innovation is the name of the game. And with those things, I will stop. I've exceeded my conversation. Sorry for that. Thank you so much.
Professor Bapat, I just quickly want to reflect, my dear students. I think, एक minute, बेटा, एक minute. Sir, वो बर्फ चाहिए. So, my dear friends, you know, sir, so many disruptive ideas he shared just now. And I'm telling you, the virtual parliament, the concept, like the shadow government, yes, our parliamentarians are working there, but definitely some such model can be created where all these 140 crore people, all the youths of the country, the demographic dividend, we should have some kind of virtual parliament which really indicates and communicates to the society, and I mean our legal system, our you know, legislators and overall system. So some ideas में sound क्या रही है, क्या बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन AI और ये सब चीज़ें किस तरीके से इवॉल्व हो रही है, तो अगले 5-10 साल में ये चित्र बन सकता है देश का कि हमारा पार्लियामेंट भी वर्चुअली चल सकता है. ऐसा मुझे आनंद जी लगता है कि कुछ सालों बाद कुछ सेशन जैसे हाइब्रिड मोड से कोविड ने भी हमें बहुत कुछ सिखाया है. आई थिंक निशित भाई वांट टू से समथिंग, बट सर आप सब लोगों ने जो यहाँ पे बैठे हुए सभी लोग इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं, मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है आप सभी स्टूडेंट्स को, ट्राई एंड गेट इनटू देयर शूज़. 10, 20, 25, 40, 50 साल बाद हम भी सब बूढ़े होंगे, तो हमें भी एक दिन उनके जैसा बनने का मौका है कि हम जा सकते हैं क्या. सोसाइटी में प्रॉब्लम तो रहने वाले हैं, प्रॉब्लम राम रावण थे तो तब से लेके अभी तक प्रॉब्लम्स है ही सोसाइटी में, तो आने वाले समय में भी. लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि प्रोफेशन लाइक डॉक्टर्स हो, वकील है, हम कोई प्रॉब्लम मतलब कोई हॉस्पिटल में कोई पेशेंट आता है तो हमें अच्छा थोड़ी लगता है, बट उसको सेवा की तरह देखना चाहिए. तो वही भाव मैं आप सब लोगों को यहाँ पे कॉन्फ्रेंस के नाते बताना चाहूँगा. और बसीन साहब भी एट द एंड ही वांट टू शेयर समथिंग, द फ्यूचर, द नेक्स्ट 4th edition ऑफ दिस इंटरनेशनल सिम्पोजियम ऑफ पीस, ही विल शेयर हिज माइंड. बट इट्स अ वेरी वंडरफुल कम्युनिकेशन. आई थिंक निशित भाई आपने बहुत शांति से, बहुत आपका कंटेंट, बहुत एक विचार करने के लिए सबको आपने प्रोवोक किया है, थिंकिंग दिया है, एंड वी आर क्यूरियस टू लिसन टू मिस्टर आनंद. सो your patience last 2 days and involvement is very, very important for your future and for overall development of the society. So thank you. So Nishit bhai, you want to say something?
I think why don't we do a project together where a virtual parliament is conceptualized. You can discuss pluses and minuses. At the same time, along with technology institutes, you know, we can create a model about parliament in the cloud. Okay. I personally think it would be extremely beneficial. There could be other point of view, but I think that together we should go away with, or take away is that we do something tangible following this, because we, all of us, our time is not that problematic, but you have more things to do. So we are taking so much of time of yours. We can do a project together on virtual parliament, and that could be possibly one of the things, if you like.
Thank you very much once again.
Thank you. It's a good suggestion. I think, Professor, you can.
Sure.
Because निश्चित society का जो है academic side में इतना काम है इनके institution का, and आप सब लोग इसका benefit ले सकते हैं. All the students, so much research system has done. Thank you, Nishit bhai, for your contribution today.
Thank you very much once again, Nishit Desai ji. And you made some of the great points in your speech where you said that we people create the world that we would like to live in. And one more point that you made got stuck in my mind, that you said law is nothing but a codified philosophy, and that was one of the beautiful points. Yesterday, sir, we had on this very stage Justice Vidyasagar Kanade ji, who's the Lokayukt of the state of Maharashtra. And he mentioned in his speech that law brings justice and justice ensures peace. And it was such a beautiful statement. I could link those two statements with what you said just now. I'm really glad to share with you that our founder, revered Professor Dr. B.Gdeshmukh Karad sir, is the person who has spent his entire life propagating this philosophy of peace. And he created one of the magnificent structures of this planet, completely dedicated to the world peace. I'm sure many of you and all of us know about it, but I would like to take this moment to quickly share a small film with all of you. I request my technical team to kindly relay.
भाइयों और बहनों, भारत के एक महान सपूत स्वामी विवेकानंद जी के अनुयायी आधुनिक वैश्विक शिक्षा पद्धति को एक नया आयाम देने वाले, विज्ञान और अध्यात्म के समन्वय से विश्व में शांति प्रस्थापित करने के लिए तत्वज्ञ संत श्री ज्ञानेश्वर संत तुकाराम महाराज के नाम से अध्यात्म शास्त्र की वैज्ञानिक प्रयोगशाला का निर्माण करने वाले ज्येष्ठ व श्रेष्ठ शिक्षाविद, विश्व शांति मानव कल्याण के क्षेत्र में पथदर्शी कार्य करने वाले विश्वधर्मी प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ दा कराड़ जी को इतिहास में शायद पहली बार भारतीय दर्शन परिषद की ओर से विश्व विज्ञान दार्शनिक, काशी विद्वत परिषद की ओर से विश्व शांति विद्या रत्न, प्रजापिता ब्रह्म कुमारी ईश्वरीय विश्वविद्यालय माउंट आबू की ओर से ज्वेल ऑफ भारत अर्थात भारत का एक अनमोल रत्न पुरस्कार तथा अमेरिका स्थित 3 विश्वविद्यालयों की ओर से विश्वधर्मी प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ कराड़ जी की एक विशाल कांस्य की मूर्ति द्वारा गौरवान्वित किए जाने पर उनका हार्दिक अभिनंदन। ये और ऐसे कई राष्ट्रीय अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कीर्ति के पुरस्कार व सम्मान पत्र प्राप्त करने वाले विश्वधर्मी प्राध्यापक डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ दा कराड़ का माहिर्स MIT संस्था के शिक्षक, शिक्षकेतर कर्मचारी, विद्यार्थी तथा समस्त भारतीयों को इन अलौकिक उपलब्धियों पर सार्थ अभिमान है।
Thank you. I think let's give a big round of applause to revered Professor Dr. Vishwanath Karad sir for his dedication of entire life to the cause of peace. It is indeed now my honor and privilege to request Advocate R.K. Anandji for his presidential address. But before I do that, I request my technical team to kindly relay a small film on the life and work of Advocate R.K. Anandji.
Dr. Ram Kumar Anand is a well-known lawyer and former member of Parliament Rajya Sabha, serving during the NDA government. He is Senior Vice President of Indian Olympic Association from December 2017. He also served as the Chairman of the Bar Council of Delhi for 2 terms and was a member of the Bar Council of Delhi for 25 years. He held the position of Vice President of the Indian Law Institute for over 25 years. Dr. Anand was an active member of the Indian Law Institute, a research institution headed by the ex officio Chief Justice of India. Anand served as Vice President for 5 3-year terms. He improved the institution by helping it obtain money and university status. Dr. Anand was elected as a Member of Parliament to the Rajya Sabha from Jharkhand in March 2000 during the NDA government. He was a member of the Standing Committee of Defence during his tenure as a member of Rajya Sabha. We warmly welcome Dr. Ram Kumar Anand.
Please put your hands together, my friend, and welcome with a round of applause Advocate R.K. Anandji.
Can you please stop this? Sure. When you ask a lawyer to come and speak with the young lawyers, you don't expect, this to click like KBC, that your clock starts now. इसको आप बंद कर दीजिए। सबसे पहले मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ जी का और राहुल जी का कि उन्होंने हमें बुला के यहाँ इतनी अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी का देखने का मौका मिला। मैंने उड़ीसा में भी देखी है, बट that university was not that big. I was told that there are 7,000 law students studying here. But I find here in the hall not more than 1,000 students. And they are from first year to 5th year. I know that there are 7,000 students. Oh. Okay. Now, you're all law students. We have already discussed, it was very nice of Roshan Dalvi to say that valedictory means that farewell. Let's not discuss on the topic, Let's think that how to become a very good lawyer. I must tell you that I'm sharing this dais with Lalit Basingh after 50 years. We both contested election in the year 1971 or 72, when we were in the profession only for 5 years or 6 years. We both got elected, and he became the chairman of the Bar Council. And while becoming chairman of the Bar Council, he did so much work for the lawyers, and he collected a lot of funds for the disabled lawyers. Lawyer की जिंदगी में आप अकेले ही काम करते हो। आपको ये नहीं पता कि आप 10 साल के बाद आप बीमार हो जाएंगे तो आपके पास कुछ नहीं होगा। For those lawyers, we made a law and collected a lot of funds by organizing various shows. Not only that one, we had various libraries which were opened in various bar associations, only for the benefit of the young lawyers. I was very, impressed when I read 2 lines of your topic in the brochure which you had published. It said, the path towards the attainment of peace is always full of hurdles. It's very correctly worded. Like, for example, very latest issue which arises between India, US and Canada. I was very happy when Justice Dalvi said and gave examples of illustrations of countries that solve their problems by mutual discussion, mediation, and they were all solved. But what about India and US and India and Canada? It's a very recent example of which me and Lalit Basingh, we are part of it. We have read the newspaper 4 days before. A dossier was prepared by Indian government, which was sent to US government for taking care of certain people in Canada and America who are creating problems for India while staying in America. While the G20 was going on, the Biden, the President of the United States, mentioned to our Prime Minister about serious allegations that the Indian people are involved, Indian officials are involved in killing of one of the person in Canada, and they were trying to kill one of the person in America. We are not sure that whether that is correct or not, but taking that it is correct. But India has taken now the path of law by sending a dossier to America. So that's why I say that it was very rightly said the path of law is very difficult to attain the peace. हमने अपनी वकालत चालू की 1967 में. आपने भी लॉयर बनना है. How will you become this successful lawyer? You must know that. After 5 years, many of you will join the corporate sector. Many of you will come, very few will come in the legal profession. I have seen that when the National Law College was established in 1972, that was also established for the purpose of 5-year course for the law students. And that was done, initiated by the Delhi Bar Council, by me and by Lalit Bhasin. And then we saw to it that 5-year course is done. Means that a boy which wants to come in the profession, he should decide before that whether you want to become a lawyer. Not like that people, retired people come in the profession, so we wanted to avoid them. So we were successful in creating the 5-year course, and that is done everywhere. But what we find is, like when you pass the law, 80%, 60% people join the corporate sector. But the litigation, very few people come. Very few lawyers who come out, get enrolled, and then they become the lawyers in litigation sector. That is the most difficult part when you come in the litigation sector. And that is more pain. I was hearing Rowdy, he has got great ideas. When you said about your freebies, I agree with you. Why should the freebies given just 10 days before just 10 days before or 1 month or 2 months before the election? I'm sure that something should be done about it. And when the freebies are given, who's paying for it? You are paying, we are paying, everybody is paying. It is going out of our pocket. I think it's very shameful for us that 80 crore people are being given ration by the government of India. I mean, do you think that 80 crore people should wait? They will not work at all if we start doing this. 80 crore people will wait in the house for the ration. They will go and get the ration, and then they will not work at all. So freebies and these kind of things are not good for the country, not good for us. I think that we should object to this one. And the other point raised by you was that how will you avoid the criminal people coming in the parliament? You should know that when initially the parliament was created, 60% people were lawyers. Nehru was lawyer, Mahatma Gandhi was lawyer, Sardar Patel was lawyer. So 60% were lawyers, they were all educated. If the all educated people will go in the parliament, you will not have this kind of disruption of the parliament. I remember, I have read that Vajpayee, when he was young, he went to Nehruji that please allow me to speak in the parliament. He said, okay, speak. Vajpayee spoke for 3 days and there was no objection. Now, this was the kind of the parliament at that time. But the standard of that parliament has gone down. Similarly, the standard of this profession has gone down. We are not serious. We have seen that the people who are dealing in the property, they are entering the profession. So the real thing is that the education is the key factor for bringing the peace, and other also for coming in the profession. It is better that devote your time in the litigation, be a good lawyer. I'll tell you how to become a good lawyer. I was a very young boy. I didn't have a background. My father was not a lawyer. My mother was not a lawyer. I joined my profession with a very senior lawyer. He was a civil lawyer. But the best thing was that he was going in the High Court and I was in the District Bar. That was a very good opportunity for me to argue the matter before that. So whenever you get a chance, you should not take the file with the senior, only caring person. You should get an opportunity and argue the matter before the court. So we were also arguing thereafter, slow and slow. Every lawyer gets a chance in his lifetime to get that opportunity and to grab and be successful. Mrs. Gandhi was introduced to me by Gandhi Bhasin ji. But I never knew that I'm going to become a lawyer for Mrs. Gandhi. I became a lawyer for Mrs. Gandhi. And I was very successful. I won all the cases till Supreme Court. 10 days before she died, she signed blank wakalatnama in my name for fighting in the Supreme Court. After that, I drafted Mrs. Gandhi's bill. Then Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister. I became his lawyer. Thereafter, I became the Vice President of the Indian Law Institute. I had 3 or 4 conferences on various subjects. One of the subjects was the AIDS. Narasimha Rao was sitting next to me, along with the President of India and the Prime Minister and the Chief Justice of India. I never knew that he was going to become my client. After a few days, I find that he was in trouble. I handled a number of matters and became his lawyer. So, in your lifetime, you will always get a chance. You grab that opportunity, argue the matter before the court, and become successful. I want all of you to become successful as a lawyer. Not as a lawyer in a company, in a corporate sector, you will not achieve the name. If you become a civil lawyer and argue a civil matter in the Supreme Court, you become top lawyer. And for a criminal matter, I'm sure that because you get opportunity, you get a bail in a very sensitive case and you are highlighted in the media. Like in a match fixing case. Vajpayee called me that please take this matter and argue before the court. And before I was going to the court, the media asked me that yes, this bail is going to be rejected. This won't be given. I didn't comment upon that one and I went to the court. When I went to the court and argued the matter, the only one question I raised, how 420 was made out. Before 420 is made out, there should be some inducement. I said, where is the inducement? How a cricketer who's playing in the field gives an inducement to the public to bet upon that. And then the judge was convinced. He asked the Solicitor General from the other side, tell me how 420 is made out. He had no answer. And the bail was granted. Can you imagine that the media had started giving that the bail is being rejected, whereas bail was granted. So when the bail was granted, they highlighted, and then your name is again highlighted. Similarly, number of matters like, Havara case was made. Havara, in that, Advani ji was involved. B.C. Shukla was involved. In those matters, Advani ji asked me to appear for him, but I said, no, I can't appear for you, because I'm appearing for B.C. Shukla. And appeared for you, and I got to bail in 1 minute. Whereas Advani ji went to the High Court and got the bail after 1 day. So what I'm trying to say is that in your lifetime, as a lawyer, as a criminal lawyer or as a civil lawyer, you get a lot of opportunities in which you can get your name and become top lawyer. Whereas when you go to the corporate sector, your name is not highlighted. I want you to become top lawyers when you join the profession. My wishes are with you, and I wish you good luck. That when you become after 5 years, whether we are there in this world or not, you should remember that you should become one of the top lawyers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words of wisdom, and thank you very much for wishing all our students the best for their future. Thank you very much. I think Advocate Dr. Lalit Bhasinji would like to say a few words before we go any further.
When I finished my earlier presentation, I think Mr. Rahul Karaj was aware that I was given only 10 minutes, while other worthy speakers were all given 15 minutes. So I think he asked me I should have carried on. But I am a stickler for time. And I would request all of you, particularly the students, to remember that in legal profession, time management is very important. Because brevity is an art. And these days, judges also don't have the patience, you see, to listen to long-winded arguments and submissions and all that. Therefore, try to learn to be up to the point and stick to the timetable which is given to you and do not exceed that. I will not exceed my 5 minutes. I will propose to deal with that. There have been very important points raised by my friend Nishit Desai. Firstly, about the cloud technology, use of technology, how it is going to improve things. Yes, no one doubts or disputes the benefits of technology. And he said that we could even have virtual parliament sessions, which are called the cloud parliament sessions. I don't know much about technology because I only use my mobile phone, that also for limited purpose of reading the SMS, reading the mails, and sending short replies. But I feel genuinely, and that is again my advice to you, that you may do your research through technology. There are so many tools available now. Enrich your knowledge, because don't just read the Contract Act or CPC or various enactments. A lawyer must have a very broad vision as to what are the contemporaneous developments which are taking place all over the world. Therefore, improve your knowledge by all means. But don't forget that there is no substitute for a law teacher. You will always need the law teacher to guide you, even to carry out various research activities and all that. Now, same thing would apply, as Mr. R.K. Anand rightly said, our parliament, the glory that is the parliament. It is great institution. Our constitution, and Dr. Ambedkar said that. Someone asked me whether this constitution will work, whether it is good or bad. He says constitutions are good, but it all depends upon how you administer it, how you interpret the constitution, how the provisions are enforced. Therefore, there is nothing wrong with the parliament as an institution. If there have been certain malpractices which have come in, you can't blame the institution. You have to blame those who are the members of parliament at a particular point of time. And that Mr. R.K. Anand rightly pointed out. Nothing wrong with the institution. And he pointed out that great, we have a legacy in the legal profession. our father of nation, first Prime Minister, first President, Dr. Ambedkar, Sardar Patel, they were all lawyers. And that trend has continued. Even whether it is the BJP government, whether it was the Congress government, there have been top lawyers who gave up their lucrative law practices to serve the country. There have been Arun Jaitley, Kapil Sibal, Chidambaram, even Mr. R.K. Anand, you see. They devoted time because they believe in giving back to society. That is one principle which you must remember. Howsoever big you may become, howsoever great lawyer you may become, but there is one, and I have coined a special phrase. You must have heard, those of you who read Companies Act, corporate social responsibility. I have coined the expression professional social responsibility. So don't forget that. Whether you are doing litigation, whether you're doing corporate work, but always just see what subserves the cause of justice. Mr. Nishit Desai said about the British system, how it has helped, you see, improve our legal system. My view is absolutely to the contrary. My view is that whatever these 5 crore cases that we are saying which are multiplying now, that is all due to this system which we have inherited from the British. In our earlier civilizations, the ancient India, then medieval India, emphasis was never on this 3-4 tier system of subordinate judges, then district judges, then single judge high court, then division bench of high court, then you go to Supreme Court. Supreme Court also will constitute a 3 judges bench, then 5 judges bench, 7 judges, and that goes on and on and on. This system was suited for a small country like England, but this is not suited for a country so populous as India, and particularly when we have a glorious heritage of not having adversarial form of, you see, justice system. But Mr. Desai is right, because now it is a part of our constitutional framework. So we can't do anything about it. The district courts will also remain there, the high courts will also remain there, the Supreme Court will also remain there. That is all a part of constitution, and that is what we have permanently inherited from the British system. Now, how to work within that system, that is important. And that is why, coming back to my last message to you, you people can, as I said, कि हवा के रुख भी बदल गए. आप लोग जो है हवा के रुख को बदल सकते हैं. Within the framework, you can create that atmosphere of settlement, samjhota, and those disputes. And what we have proposed, and Mr. Rahul Karad has kindly, I've shared this idea with him, that after this success of the National Legislators Conference, that was a stupendous success, a very timely action taken, and there was a big response from the legislators of all the states, and they participated in a big way. I was a part of the panel of Mr. Nishit Desai. I also participated in Mumbai. I suggested to him that let us have, you see, something on the same line for the judiciary also. Let there be a national judicial conference. Judicial also has the element of justice, you see. You call everyone honorable justice so-and-so. So that emphasis does not shift to law, emphasis remain on justice. And that is what we have to emphasize and tell the honorable judges, and to have their views on that. And I want the students to participate, you see, very actively in those deliberations, not just confined to the judges and lawyers. Yes, we will call experts also. We'll call experts from even overseas to tell our judges what are the contemporaneous developments which are taking place, you see, in the world, in the field of information technology, in the field of mergers and acquisition, in the field of privacy, data protection, how the world is proceeding. Therefore, those experts will come. So I have suggested to him, and he has agreed, we will collaborate together, and with the assistance of such eminent people like Mr. Nishid Desai, who is also an expert by himself, we will carry out this. Therefore, in the end, my suggestion is that we should come out for a declaration of justice for peace. Declaration for justice for peace. If that is done, then there may not have been, if it was already done, there may not have been, you see, Ukraine-Russia war, or the Hamas and Israel war, which are going on, because that declaration would bind all the countries together and ensure peace. Thank you very much, and all the best to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Indeed, I think we all echo the feelings with Rahul Karat, sir, that so tall personalities are present here today that will not be able to probably absorb everything what they are saying. Thank you very much once again for all the dignitaries. Once again, a big round of applause. Thank you so much.
So, Professor Bapat, I just request Professor George and Madam Inamdar, immediately the committee can be formed. The next year, the dates, you please finalize with the Vice Chancellor. And the Judges Conference is a very important conference. Sometime before, sir said to me, 2 years before, when we were conceiving this thought process of whether this name of International Symposium of Law Peace, it came from his heart.
Wow.
So I request under the same banner, some it can be coined, and of course the peace is of course the very DNA of this institution.
True.
And sir will guide us, and under his leadership we will definitely take this ahead.
Sure.
And of course the respected other leaders sitting here from the legal field. Thank you so much, my dear students. So please
nice.
work on it.
A big round of applause to that great thought which just was conceived from this stage of 3rd ISLP. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. My friends, before we go any further, I would like to request all the dignitaries on the dais if they can please give us a beautiful, memorable photograph by holding the brochure in front of you. I request you give us this photo opportunity. Indeed, these memories, this record plays a vital and important role. When the history is written, such glorious moments make their way to the books of history. Thank you very much, all the dignitaries, for your gracious presence for the valedictory session of 3rd ISLP. And with this, I request the Dean of School of Law of MIT World Peace University, Dr. Sunil George, sir, to kindly propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Bapat, sir. Good evening, everyone. Esteemed dignitaries present on the dais and off the dais, students and participants. As we draw the curtains of the 3rd International Symposium on Law and Peace, it is my privilege, on behalf of MIT World Peace University School of Law, to propose the vote of thanks before this august gathering and extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have made this event a resounding success. I would like to extend, firstly, my sincere thanks to R.K. Anand sir for his insights on the role and path of law to attain peace. Thank you, sir, for enlightening the students how to attain success in the legal profession and how it is not necessary that you have to be from a legal family or legal background to succeed in law. It is my pleasure to thank Nishid Desai sir for his insights on the interrelationship between law and philosophy. Indeed, law is a double-edged sword, namely to unite people and also to divide people. Thank you for the confidence that you've shown in us and that MIT has the potential to change the world. I would also like to express my gratitude to Justice Roshan Dalvi ma'am for enlightening and reminding us that peace is not absence of war, but absence of conflict. It will make India truly free if there are no conflicts. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Lalit Bhasin sir for his constant help and guidance, and we would ever remain grateful to you. And we thank you for being us with today, and we would continue our legacy of taking effectively the future problems of society, and also for giving us the concept of professional social responsibility. I would like to thank our own Vishwadharmi Reverend Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Karat sir, UNESCO chairholder, founder and chief patron of Myers MIT Pune, founding president of MIT World Peace University, and the visionary creator of the World Peace Dome. His blessings and guidance continue to inspire us. I would like to thank Sri Rahul B. Karat sir, Managing Trustee, Myers MIT, Executive President, and Chief Initiator of MIT School of Government. His visionary leadership has been a driving force behind our educational initiatives, especially for our international symposium on law and peace, themed Heralding Law to Promote Peace, which endeavors to explore the impact of rule of law on peace, ethical legal practices, and the promotion of peace and harmony across the globe. I think sir deserves a much louder applause. Thank you. On behalf of the organizing committee of ISLP, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.M. Chitnis sir, whose leadership has played a pivotal role in shaping our academic excellence. I also extend my humble gratitude to Ganesh B. Pokle sir, Registrar, and Dr. Mahesh Torbe and his entire team for their administrative support. I would like to thank the IR, media and marketing team for their contribution towards making this event a success. I would also like to thank the dignitaries of the inaugural session, Retired Justice Vidyasagar Kande sir, Retired Justice Sadhna Jadhav madam, and Sri Murlidhar Koteshwar sir. I also take this moment to thank Dr. Punima Inamdar ma'am, Associate Dean External Relations, the School of Law, Dr. Abhijit Dere, Program Director, School of Law, and faculty coordinators, Professor Sanjana Bharadwaj, Professor Ayush Mishra, Professor Dr. Neha Agashe, Professor Vikas Wagmare, and all my faculty members for ensuring the smooth functioning of the event. I would also like to thank all the non-teaching staff members who worked in the background to make this event a success. Last but not least, we've been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of dedicated student volunteers and committee members who have diligently worked for the success of this ISLP. Yes, you should clap for yourselves. With this, we come to an end to the 3rd International Symposium on Law and Peace, and we look forward for your eager participation and patronage to the 4th International Symposium to be held next year. Thank you. Yeah. A big thanks to all the students from me and also from Lalit Bhasin sir.
Thank you very much, Bhasin sir, and all the students for your active participation. With this, my friends, we are coming towards the conclusion, and before I request you to rise in your seats for National Anthem, let me request all of you and remind you that after this session concludes, we are going to assemble for a quick photograph right outside this auditorium on the staircase. So I request all the students to assemble there after we have the National Anthem. And with this, I request all the dignitaries on the dais, student friends of the dais, to rise in their seats for National Anthem. Bharat Mata Ki! Bharat Mata Ki! Bharat Mata Ki! Thank you very much, all the dignitaries on the dais, all the student friends. Thank you very much for your participation in 3rd ISLP. I request all the students to join us outside for a beautiful photograph. I request all the students to assemble on the staircase of this very hall, right outside, for the photograph with all the dignitaries. I request all the dignitaries to join us for the group photograph.